Hello, and welcome to this special edition of CBTV. I'm Matthew J. Rettick, the host of Checks and Balances TV. Today I'll be presenting the newest installment of the Truth About series. We have an exciting yet controversial topic to discuss which millions of Americans depend on every day. What is that? Annuities. So get ready for the truth about annuities. I'm going to give you the pros and cons, both sides of the coin, the advantages and disadvantages of this useful but many times misunderstood financial product. By the way, you can download our free report on the truth about annuities in the download section of our website. So let's get started. First of all, annuities are like magnets. Most people seem to be either attracted to them or repelled from them. The truth about annuities is that they are like every other financial product out there today. They have advantages and disadvantages. Ultimately, you will need to weigh out the pros and cons, the pluses and minuses, what we call both sides of the coin, to determine if an annuity or any other product for that matter is in your best interest or if they're really in the best interest of the person selling them. Annuities come in many different varieties, and because there are so many different kinds of annuities, there's a lot of confusion. At its most basic, an annuity is an interest-bearing account issued only by an insurance company. In exchange for a lump sum deposit or periodic deposits, the insurance company can and will guarantee either an immediate or a deferred income. Let's first of all, though, talk about the history of annuities. Available for more than 2,000 years, the annuity is one of the oldest financial tools on earth. As a matter of fact, the first record we have of the concept of annuities dates back to 225 AD, which was a long time ago. Back then, a Roman annuity buyer made a lump sum payment. In return, the buyer received a contract that promised a fixed payment every year for his natural life. In 1540, the English government began offering annuities that repaid their purchase price over 7 years. In this country, in 1759, the very first annuity in America was offered by a Pennsylvania company to Presbyterian ministers and their families. In the 1930s, annuities became popular as concerns about the overall health of the financial markets, which of course was the Great Depression back then, prompted many to purchase products from insurance companies which were seen as stable institutions. As of today, over $2 trillion in assets are now in annuities across this country. Now, you may be wondering who depends on annuities today. Well, first of all, school teachers and administrators do. Hospital employees such as doctors. Church pastors also rely on them, and millions of other Americans who have purchased annuities on their own or who have transferred their 401k, 403b, or IRA into an annuity. And by the way, there are many uses of annuities today, some of which you may be familiar with and some you may not. The state lotteries use annuities. If you were a lucky Powerball winner, you would have an option. You could take the full amount of the winning, paid over 25 years, or about half of the amount paid in cash. Many past and current game shows today on television offer annuities. America's Got Talent, one of the top game shows in the country today. The winner receives a $1 million annuity. In the fine print it says, paid over 40 years, which is just $25,000 a year. Or you can take a lower cash amount as a lump sum. The FedEx Cup uses annuities extensively. Winners of the FedEx Cup receive $10 million, a lot of money. Do they get it all in cash? The answer is no. Winners receive a part in cash and part in an annuity stream paid over many years. Many institutions and individuals have endorsed annuities over the years. The most popular individual is Babe Ruth. Back in the early to mid-20s, Babe Ruth talked about how an annuity income stream helped him through retirement after baseball was no longer in his life. AARP, September of 2009, made this statement: "We have not spent nearly enough time discussing the best ways to take money and turn it into an income stream that lasts throughout retirement." That, of course, would be an annuity income stream. And President Obama's Middle Class Task Force recently said that annuities are among the tools the administration is promoting as it tries to give Americans a better shot at a more secure retirement. And our own Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke, boy, what a job he has taking care of the country's economy. What does he do with his money? Well, his two largest assets in his name are annuities, valued between $500,000 and $1 million each. So a number of individuals as well as institutions have a lot of good things to say about annuities today. Okay, so let's now talk about the pros and cons of annuities and discuss the most popular types of annuities that the general public buys today. One of the many advantages of an annuity is that the interest earned in a deferred annuity is tax deferred until it's withdrawn, thereby giving the owner the benefits of what's called triple compounding interest. What's triple compounding interest? Well, it's simply this. Triple compounding of interest means that your initial investment or principal earns interest, your interest earns interest, and the dollars that you would normally pay in taxes every year also earns interest while it stays in the account. One of the disadvantages of an annuity, of course, is when you withdraw money from an annuity, it will then be taxed. Also, if you take withdrawals from annuities before you are age 59 and a half, you may be subject to a 10% penalty tax levied by the IRS. And there are normally surrender charges which the insurance company deducts if you take out too much money at one time, which we'll discuss in a few minutes. The four most commonly used annuities today are the immediate annuity, the fixed annuity, the variable annuity, and the indexed annuity. Let's take number one, the immediate annuity, what I call the pay me now annuity. An immediate annuity can be set up to pay an income stream for a predetermined period of time, or it could be set up to pay you for life, or a combination of the two. One of the great advantages of an immediate annuity is that you can create what is basically a private pension that will pay you for your entire lifetime. Now, the biggest disadvantage of buying an immediate annuity is that once you buy it, the money you use to pay for it is typically gone forever. You made a trade. You traded a lump sum of money with the insurance company in exchange for an income that will last as long as you decided when you bought it. And finally, immediate annuities enjoy a special tax benefit. It's called an exclusion ratio. What is an exclusion ratio? Well, it means that when you buy an immediate annuity, the payout you receive is part interest and part return of your original principal. And the only part subject to taxes is the interest portion. And payouts can be as much as 95% free of income tax. Again, for even more information about immediate annuities, download our free report, The Truth About Annuities. The other three types of annuities we'll discuss today are deferred annuities. And a deferred annuity is essentially a tax-deferred savings account issued by an insurance company. Deferred annuities, by the way, always earn interest, not dividends or capital gains. Now, you must be aware of surrender charges. You may have heard of them before. Most deferred annuities come with early withdrawal penalties called surrender charges. And usually surrender charges disappear after a period of time. They vary in length from as little as 3 years to as long as 20 years or perhaps even longer. The penalty percentage can generally be as much as 20% of your withdrawal to as low as 1%. Fortunately, most annuities have a penalty-free withdrawal every year, and it works this way. Surrender charges in most annuities only apply to amounts that you withdraw that are greater than 10% of your account value every year. This is known as the penalty-free amount. Surrender charges are also almost always waived if the annuity owner dies, becomes sick, and needs the money to go into a nursing home and pay for those expenses, or if they're diagnosed with a terminal illness. Now, not every policy has these provisions, so make sure to check it out before you do buy an annuity with these type of exceptions. Let's now talk about the second most commonly used and purchased annuity today, and that's a fixed annuity. A fixed annuity is basically a savings account-like policy issued by an insurance company that earns you interest. Fixed annuity interest most often comes in two different types. The first type is called a multi-year guaranteed rate annuity, also referred to as a CD type annuity, in which the issuing company declares the interest rate for a set period of time, so you know what your interest will be every single year over that period of time, just like a CD would. The second variety only declares the interest rate for the first year. After the first year, the company will declare a new rate for subsequent years. Let's now briefly talk about the advantages and disadvantages, though, of fixed annuities. In short, fixed annuities are simple to understand, safe, secure, and guaranteed. All of these things bring sleep at night, peace of mind that can be especially valuable during these times when your other investments may be losing money, such as money in the market. However, there is a price to be paid for that peace of mind, and it's generally a lower overall return compared to accounts that may not be as safe over the long term, such as money in the market. Now remember, for even more information about fixed annuities, download our free report, The Truth About Annuities. Now let's talk about the third most commonly used and purchased annuity today, and that's the variable annuity. A variable annuity, or VA as it's commonly referred to, is an insurance company issued annuity that, instead of the company making the investment decisions and choices on deposits, allows you to choose how your deposit will be invested. These individual VA investments are called sub-accounts. Sub-accounts are very similar to mutual funds. In fact, many of them have the same names, the same managers, and same investments as mutual funds. The gains or losses in your sub-accounts determine your results and the interest you may actually earn every year. Now let's talk about a nasty four-letter word, and that word is fees. All variable annuities have fees. These come in a variety of names, shapes, and sizes, but they all have them. I'm going to talk about the average fees and expenses that I've seen in my practice over the years. Now, all variable annuities charge the account owner with a fee known as an M&E, or mortality and expense charge. M&E charges are designed to cover the insurance company's cost to issue and maintain the account. That's the E in the M&E, meaning the insurance company's expenses. In addition, there is an M for mortality. Generally, mortality refers to the fact that when an annuity owner dies, their beneficiary will receive a guaranteed death benefit. Now, a typical M&E fee is between 1.15% to 1.5% charged every year. And this amount is automatically deducted from your account value every year, regardless of the policy's performance. In addition, all sub-accounts have fees. Some are greater than others, but nonetheless, they all have at least some fee that you're paying every year. Now remember that a sub-account is the first cousin to the mutual fund, so VA sub-accounts have similar fees to those found in mutual funds. In general, a sub-account will charge you anywhere between 0.5% and 2% per year in addition to the M&E fees. So be aware that every VA does have fees being charged every year. Now let's discuss the advantages and disadvantages of variable annuities. One of the biggest advantages of a variable annuity is that in a good and rising stock market, these accounts can potentially earn you great returns without any caps or limits on those returns. The disadvantages are that if you invest in a poor and declining stock market, there is no downside protection. You can lose your shirt, so to speak, just like you could if you were directly invested in the stock market. In addition, variable annuities can have some pretty hefty annual fees, so be aware of them. Once more, for even more information about variable annuities, download our free report, The Truth About Annuities. Now let's talk about our fourth and final most popular annuity purchase today, and that's the fixed indexed annuity. Now, a fixed indexed annuity, or FIA, is a hybrid between a variable annuity and a fixed annuity. You will receive stock market linked growth when the stock market rises, subject of course to certain limitations, and the safety of knowing you won't lose any of your principal or previous year's gains if the stock market declines the next year. With a declining stock market, you will simply smile and say, "Zero is my hero." There are many different indexes that can be used in FIA formulas today, but the most common is the Standard & Poor's 500. The S&P 500 is made up of the stocks of the 500 largest U.S. companies, representing every major industry in our economy. Other indexes may include the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the Russell Small Cap and Mid Cap indexes, and even some bond indexes. Now, not all indexes are available on all products, so you do want to ask some questions and do your research. Fixed indexed annuity interest is calculated using one or more of the following variables: a participation rate, an earnings cap, and a fee or spread. Let's talk about each of the three very quickly. A participation rate is simple to understand. It's nothing more than the percentage of the growth in the index that you can earn. So for example, if the index increased by 8% and you had a 100% participation rate, you would earn the full 8%. If the participation rate was, say, 50%, you would earn 4%, or half of the growth in the index. An earnings cap is just what it sounds like, a limit on how much you can earn. Think of it as a glass ceiling. If the index rose to 12% and you had an 8% earnings cap, you would earn 8%. By the same token, if the earnings cap was 8% and the index rose to only, say, 6%, you would earn the full 6%. You earn everything up to the earnings cap and then nothing more. Last are spreads or fees, and these are, by the way, deducted from the index growth only, not from your principal. So for example, if you had a 2% fee or spread and the index rose 8%, you would earn 6%. So those are the three most common areas of an index annuity to be aware of. Now, the advantages and disadvantages of fixed indexed annuities. The main advantage of the fixed indexed annuity is that your money in this type of account is not at risk based on stock market volatility or loss. You only participate if the stock market increases, never if it decreases. Now, the disadvantages of fixed indexed annuities are, first of all, that you don't receive any dividends on any of the stocks that make up any of these indexes you could choose from. Another potential negative to watch out for are what I call the moving parts of an indexed annuity that you're considering. What I mean by moving parts is that every year on your policy anniversary date, the insurance company can elect to increase or decrease three important aspects of your fixed indexed annuity that could positively or negatively affect next year's interest gain. And those three moving parts are the participation rate, the spread or fee, and the earnings cap. I highly recommend that you only buy a fixed indexed annuity that by contract can only change one of these moving parts each year and not two or three. For more information about fixed indexed annuities, download our free report on The Truth About Annuities. Now let's talk about an annuity maturity date. Much has been said and written in the media regarding annuity maturity dates and just how bad and unfair they are to the owner of the policy. Because an annuity contract is a contract, the contract has to state that there will be a date in the future requiring the owner to elect an annuity settlement option to begin receiving payments by way of annuitizing the contract, which also means receiving a monthly income. Now, in most policies, this maturity date is not even triggered until you're over 100 years old. This simply means that you are not forced to take anything out of your annuity if you don't want to until this maturity date. The stated maturity date in the annuity contract does not mean that you have no access to your funds until that date, nor does it mean that you have to wait until that date to begin annuity payments. However, please be aware that if you have a qualified plan inside of an annuity, like an IRA, a 401k, or 403b, that you will have to take a RMD or required minimum distribution every year starting at age 70 and a half. Okay, let me wrap this session up by saying, first of all, while there are no perfect investments today, annuities included, annuities can be powerful tools in your investment tool chest that can provide valuable benefits when used properly. From being the only investment on the planet that can provide a guaranteed income for life, to offering you the upside with risk of variable annuities, to the market risk-free upside potential of fixed indexed annuities, as well as lifetime income riders, annuities are certainly worth a look today. Okay, here's my action step for you. If you're going to consider an annuity, be sure to work with a competent professional annuity advisor who can help you navigate through all the different variations out there. And for more information about annuities, email us at info@checksandbalances.tv. Also, be sure to request our free report, The Truth About Annuities, by logging onto our website and downloading this in-depth report. We want to arm you with the truth about this important financial product so you'll know if it's right for you. And as a quick reminder, be sure to watch a new edition of Checks and Balances TV every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And revisit the Truth About section of our website for future in-depth reviews of many popular financial products and investment tools available today. Until then, spend less, save more, believe in yourself, and make it happen.